morning. Welcome back out along the Causeway coast. Beautiful crisp December morning here. And as you've probably guessed, I've brought myself along to the dunes. You know how much I like bimbling along in the dunes. A couple of reasons for that. One, I knew it was going to be pretty clear overhead, so while this pre-dawn light might make for a couple of nice wider vista views, I think before long that option is going to be sort of taken away from us. So I love bimbling along the dunes, so I thought I would just come over here. Now, since I've last been here, this beach and this dune system runs alongside Portstewart Golf Club. I'm on Portstewart Strand, by the way, and it looks like they've built a fence line. I know there had been some consternation between locals and the golf club regarding access to these dunes. There were some signs put up that were quickly, well, let's just say, burnt. So it actually looks like they've taken things a step further and cut off maybe half of the access to the dunes, which is a little bit of an issue. Yeah, right to Rome. That's a whole different kettle of fish. Anyway, so I don't think I'm going to do any wider vista shots. I think I'm really just going to focus in on capturing some more intimate details. Now, I might stay 100% in the dunes this morning, or I might go out and see whether there's any beach patterns. It's lovely and calm. It was supposed to be a little bit windier today, but thankfully it seems to be pretty calm. So we'll have a wander around and see what we can see. So I've been working on a little shop behind me here. Now I know I said I wasn't going to be sort of focusing on the bigger vista, and I guess it's somewhere in between. There's a couple of clouds moving through. You can kind of see that one there, and they're taking on a little bit of that. I guess it would still be pre-dawn glow. The sun hasn't risen yet, and it's just kind of coming into scene now. And there's a little natural sort of pathway up, and so using both a vertical and a horizontal orientation, just seeing whether I can incorporate that. One of the issues is, though, again, I said before, one of the reasons for coming here rather than going for somewhere for a bigger vista view was the lack of clouds above. And of course that lack of clouds above pre-dawn here means we're not getting much reflective light coming in. There's a little bit, not a huge amount, and so it kind of maybe isn't as strong in the lower sort of 2/3 of the image. I also was being very strong. There's a lovely little scene just down here that I think loads of people will have shot before. You just got those posts going out into the sea, and about 15 minutes ago it was lovely pink reflections, and I was going to run down and compose something, but you know, that'll be there again. My time's here in the dunes. So I think perhaps up here is going to work better. Maybe when the sun is up just a touch more. Now obviously when we do get some direct light on here, you know, given the fact that we are now a couple of weeks into December, even direct sunlight without any clouds hopefully will be soft enough to allow me to carry on shooting. Conditions yesterday would have been perfect. There were some moody clouds about, it was diffusing some of that sun, but unfortunately I had a few bits and pieces to do. So that cloud now is taking on some lovely early morning pink glow. So at the moment I've got it in a portrait orientation, F something or other, maybe F9 or something, focusing in on the dunes themselves, and 2-second timer, no filters. That's all she wrote. Right. Yep, that cloud now looks to be moving into a frame, or into the frame kind of right across it. And actually what's quite nice at the moment is I might need to recompose this. There's actually two sort of bits of pink that are higher up that are actually taking on much more of the colour, so but I'll probably have to quickly recompose this to catch it, so catch up in a bit. So I brought myself just slightly higher up into the dunes. The sun now has risen above the visible horizon, and of course it's casting some lovely soft, just some soft winter light. Now the really fantastic thing about it is, at the moment, because these dunes kind of slide off, maybe off into a bit of a slope, it's not casting its light across the whole of the frame, and it's just sort of picking out individual strands, individual lines, and there's a little bit of a scene here that I'm composing in a portrait orientation. And again, I just love how some of those little strands are picking up some of the light. Some of them are cast into the deep sort of bluer shadows. The other thing as well is I'm playing about a little bit with the aperture. This isn't just about having a straightforward, oh, let's have a nice sharp image front to back. You know, I actually think when you're working in the dunes, having a little bit of diffusion or a little bit of softness as the frame goes out, and maybe even a bit of softness at the front, it's all about experimentation. So I'm actually going to be playing about a little bit with a couple of different apertures here, just to see whether softening some of the background actually helps out. And again, one of the fantastic things about digital is just no cost to the experimentation, so why not, eh? And again, it's just all about looking for different shapes in those reeds. Some of them are really curling up some beautiful, almost remind me of kind of Goldilocks hair, if that's a thing. Not sure if photograph has ever been described as Goldilocks hair, but there you go, you hear it all here in this channel. So yeah, just really about catching some of that light, especially as the sun continues to sort of skirt the edge of the visible horizon behind me. I should be able to still find little pockets of shadow, little pockets of light. Play about with the aperture, still no filters, 2-second timer, XT2 18:135. As a wise man once said. No idea. You know, one of the things I love about this type of photography is you can just play and have fun. You know, shooting into the sun, kind of catching just little bits of light leak on the side perhaps, playing about with your aperture for a little bit of creative depth of field, and of course playing about with the shutter speed as well. There's a little bit more of a breeze now getting up, so you can actually start to incorporate movement with a slightly slower shutter speed. It doesn't need to be even that slow, just to pick up just a little hint of movement. So yeah, that's why I love bimbling around the dunes, because it's pressure's off. Not that I like to put too much pressure on myself anyway. This is all about enjoyment, enrichment, and my own mental health, of course. But yeah, it's one of the reasons why I love just bimbling around the dunes, because you can just play and have a little bit of fun. And the shot I've kind of got set up here is just starting to think a little bit about the wind and the movement. Now I'm behind a slightly higher dune here, so I'm not getting any light kind of coming directly onto the camera, so there shouldn't be any, unlike when I was shooting into the sun there where we had a lot of light leak and a lot of kind of things going on. This allows me to kind of take advantage of that sun streaming sort of across the side of those dunes without getting any leak into the camera. And then removing the sky completely, but a little sort of nod to the dunes behind as well, that are sort of cast in both shadow and light, providing perhaps a little bit of depth. And yeah, then just playing about a little bit with the shutter speed to see whether I can just have a little touch of movement. But I think you can agree that these are pretty impressive dune systems. I actually shot the Irish Open here back in my sporting days, and after 5 days on a links course, yeah, you don't really need gym membership. You do need gym membership though. Let me know if anyone's got that on the go. And it's just a thing I love about coming to this part of the dune system is you can just about hear a little bit of the waves, And then on the other side there's an estuary, and there's curlews sort of calling as well. All in all, rather nice. So I'm just recording this little section on the iPhone. Hopefully the audio is okay. So I'm taking the whole creative freedom to the next level, off the tripod, and just wandering around the dunes. Highly recommended. Even doing a little bit of multiple exposure on the X-T2. Just playing around again, just looking for shapes, light, shadow, movement. Just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. In fact, it's actually now starting to warm up quite a bit. The old bunce is a little bit warm, so. And every so often you get a lovely call of a curlew over to my right, your left. Just beautiful. In fact, earlier on, I was composing an image at the very start of this session, and a little stone chat was in amongst the reeds, and I kind of shot that. I'm not sure whether it came out, because I obviously wasn't planning on shooting a moving subject. So, but yeah, this has all been rather nice. Well, I'm going to start wandering my way back along the dune system. If I grab any more shots, I'll put them up at the end of this. But once again, hope you've enjoyed this little, very simple but very enriching and very rewarding for me bimble out among the dune system. You should try it sometime. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, take care. Bye bye.